So you want to talk about Katamari Damacy? Here we go!
I guess now's as good a time as any.
This is one of those quirky Japanese games that generally don't do so well in this country, but like sell millions of copies in Japan. But we were lucky enough to get this game over here in the States, and even more lucky to get it for $20, which is the retail price of the game. And I think this is definitely one of the best $20 games of the year. You just love that song, don't you, Stuart?
It's the best song of the year.
It is one of the strongest parts of the game, I think, is the soundtrack is just as wacky as the game. And it's got a ton of tracks on there, and each is more wacky than the next. And you'll get these songs stuck in your head pretty much all day long. Now, Stuart, you've played this game, right?
I have. I own this game. I enjoy it very much. I may even go as far as to say that it could be the PS2 game of the year.
Really?
Yes.
That's a bold statement.
I'm a bold man.
Well, yeah, I agree that it's definitely a very special game, and it's the type of game that people feel really strongly about. People play a game like this that's so unique and so original, and they just want to let all their friends know about it, and show it to their family, and even people who don't like video games. People try to their friends. Get
well,
their
I think
friends
the
hooked
pick
on
up
this
and
one.
play aspect of the game is really what makes it so interesting. There's not 30 buttons that you're keeping track of. You're keeping track of the analog, left analog, and right analog. The way the game is set up, and I guess we should bring this up, is each level you have a ball. Would you just?
Yes, that's your Katamari.
Yes.
But ball works too.
Enough ball talk. And you roll this ball around this 3D level field, and you want to run stuff over.
Right. That's a very simple way of talking about it. The backstory, the wacky backstory, is that your father, the king of the cosmos, has screwed up and knocked all the stars out of the sky. And you, as the prince, your job is to use your Katamari, or
your ball.
Right. To pick up basically any type of item that you can think of and collect these things, and then they get sent up to the sky and turned into stars.
Ball.
Ball. There you go. Now, that doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, but that's sort of part of the fun of the game is most of the game doesn't really make any sense. And you start picking up little things like thumbtacks, like really tiny. And as you get bigger, you're up to children, and then you're up to adults, and then you're up to sumo wrestlers, and then you're up to buildings, and it just keeps going and going. And it's really just amazing how the developers laid out these stages that are, interesting when you're tiny and you're on the same stage, but now you're the size of a baseball field, and you're rolling over a whole city, and people are screaming and running for their lives. It's hilarious.
Yes, people running and screaming. Very funny, Chiefy. Don't forget the price.
$20.
Wow, new.
Yeah, I actually bought this game along with Beautiful Joe at EB Games Black Friday sale, 2 for $25. So how's that for a cheap ass deal right there? Two sick games for $25.
That's why you're Chiefy D.
Right.
Well, on another note, going to the website, speaking of websites, on cheapassgamer.com, user Honedog said this about Katamari Damacy. He goes, I purchased 5 copies so far. I initially picked up a copy for my kids. They love this game. The other 4 copies were for birthday parties and Christmas gifts. This is a very fun and original game for a great price. I hope the sequel is value priced as well. The sequel has been announced, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I said earlier, like, people want to turn other people onto this game. I mean, I showed this game to my mom during Thanksgiving, and even she wanted to play it, and she does not really play video games. But she saw me playing it, and she actually wanted to give it a try. And because the controls are really easy, and basically all you're really doing is pushing a ball around, she's not intimidated by that, and she was willing to give it a shot, and she loved it. And I think this is the type of game you can show to your friends who don't really or aren't into video games like you are, and they'll still get a kick out of it, pretty much as you will. And you'll have to beat them off with a stick as they try to take over your PlayStation.
Well, all I have to say to that is this.
Katamari Damacy.
How can you not love that?